My expectations for KingOhger were very, very low, and yes, I did just copy the first sentence from my Dawn Brothers video. Except this time there's not really much reason to it other than that it wasn't Dawn Brothers. After the masterpiece that was Dawn Brothers, I wasn't sure if KingOhger could really keep up that hype. And the more information we got about it, the less hyped I really was. The whole fantasy aspect of KingOhger reminded me a lot of Kamen Rider Saber, and anyone who's been watching this channel for a while knows my opinions on Saber. So regardless, I obviously did end up watching episode 1 since I'm making this video and all, but what did I think of it? Well, here we go. This is Takano's first go as a Sentai head writer, and his first Sentai episode as well. For anyone who doesn't know who Takano is, he's basically the person who writes underneath Yu Yu Takahashi, doing some X8 and 01 specials, as well as being the secondary writer for 01. So, really this is his first time doing something completely on his own, without working off of Takahashi, which is great. It really shows how different their writing styles are, and pairing him up with Kami Horiyuchi for this show was great, but I'll get to him later. I like how this was also a first episode that kind of breaks tradition, although breaking tradition is pretty much the new tradition since Zenkaiger. We may have gotten introduced to all 5 Rangers, but we haven't really met them yet. Heck, Yanma doesn't even transform in this episode. Gira is really the only one who we learn things about, and the rest of the team are just a tease of what's to come from the show. Not really much else here in terms of story, considering this is only the first episode. It's got some interesting lore setup, and I'm excited to see where it goes from there. Again, not much to say here, since really Gira is the only character who actually does stuff in this episode. Sure, the other Rangers do things, but they aren't the focus of the episode. Gira is a self-proclaimed king of evil who, I guess, looks after a group of kids? I doubt he's their dad, maybe their older brother? I'm interested to see what that situation is. We get a little glimpse of Yanma's character, but since it seems we're getting a lot more of him in the next episode, I'll talk about it next week. Alright, this is probably going to be the section I talk about the most because it's the thing I was the most excited about. And there's just a lot more to talk about here in general. Kami Horiyuchi is the head director for KingOhger, and I sincerely hope he doesn't get wasted like he did in Ryu Soldier. While this wasn't the best thing he directed, it's still a standout episode of Sentai, and it's all because of him. KingOhger has also made me excited for mech fights again. While giant battles usually aren't my favorite thing, Kami Horiyuchi always makes them so good, and takes advantage of certain camera tricks. I haven't seen Ryu Soldier, but from the little I've seen of Dino Fury, some of his later mech fights in the show are insane, so I have high hopes for them in KingOhger as well. The suits look amazing. Despite most of them transforming in this episode, we really only see Kuwagata Ohger much. I love the bug-themed suits in Toku, so I was very excited for these. The combined insect and king theme work really well. The little cape on the shoulder also looks really cool. Also, it might just be me, but it looks like they're using a more metallic color for the KingOhger suits, which is really cool. Onto the mech, I really like KingOhger. Or maybe it's literally just called KingOhger? I don't really know, it's kind of confusing. And them being Guardians of their Kingdom kind of gave me some Zyuranger vibes. By the way, if you don't know, I'm one of 2 people who actually like Zyuranger. I like the idea of how Gira is the only one who controls the mech and the others just watch the fight. Overall, this was a very solid opening episode. Not everything was great, though. Yanma was a bit too unnecessarily jerkish, but hopefully that gets sorted out next episode. It definitely stands out compared to other Sentai opening episodes. This gets a 4 out of 5 from me. Hopefully the show keeps up its quality. And with that, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next week.